Travis McPherson here, MMA Weekly Radio, and we're here with Caros Fodor here at AMC as he gets ready for his main event fight on Showtime, Strikeforce Challengers. Caros, how are you doing today?
Great, sir. How are you doing?
Doing real good, man. This is a big opportunity for you, main event on Strikeforce Challengers. Tell us how you feel and how you felt when you got the call that you were going to be the main event.
Super excited. They told us actually down there, me and James Terry were together when they told us, so it was pretty cool. It's hometown, and being the main event is awesome.
Now, you've main evented in smaller shows around the state area before, so that's not a big deal, but being on Showtime is kind of a big step for you. You've been on TV before, but now you are the main event. How does that affect you mentally?
I just want to put on a good show for everybody. You know, a lot of people are going to be watching this, and I'm trying to make a name for myself in this sport, and I'm hoping that me and him put on a good fight for everybody.
Now, your friends and family, I know, have been able to watch the last couple fights because, again, you've been on TV. But how excited are they to see the guy that they've known all this time become the main event, be on all the posters and all the advertisements? What has that done for them, and what have they told you about it?
I think they're happy. You know, we don't talk about it a lot, but you know, they definitely support me and everything, and nothing but support and love. So I really appreciate that.
Looking at your opponent, he's a very tough guy. He's also, you know, a guy that is up and coming and looking real good in 155 in Strikeforce. What kind of things does he bring to the table that might cause you problems?
He's a collegiate wrestler, and then he's got a real good right hand. So, you know, he wins a lot of decisions by outpointing people and looking really good. So I'm going to try to avoid that. And I'm expecting that he's going to try to take me down. I think his game plan is going to be to make me think that he's going to strike with me, and then try to grind out a decision by getting the takedown and holding me down. So we've been working hard, and we got a game plan for that.
Now, in your last fight, you really just put the gears to the guy. I mean, he couldn't stay with you. The stamina was definitely on the low end for him. And by the time that the fight was called, it was all but said and done. Did you think that the fight should have been stopped a little earlier than it was?
No, I wish I could go back and, you know, save a little energy and be a little bit more damaging in that third round. You know, he had nothing, and I could have probably done whatever I wanted, but I was also tired. So, no, I think the ref, you know, stopped it, you know, when he should have. But I wish I could have, you know, really laid it into that guy.
Now, what do you think if you could have gone back and changed something, specifically, what would you have changed?
I would probably stay away from not close the distance so much. I could have done whatever I wanted to on the feet at that point, so I wouldn't have clinched with him in that third round. You know, he had nothing, couldn't keep his hands up, and just keep my distance and go in with those hard shots and try to put him out.
Now, is that something that you're going to look to put into your game plan moving forward? Since the clinch game seems to be really good for you and has really treated you well, is there any reason to get away from that?
People are going to start adapting to it, and you know, I've done it in my last 3 fights, so I'm sure that everyone's going to try to start nullifying it. So, you know, I'm well-rounded. I can fight everywhere. So, you know, if I'm winning in the clinch, I'll like to keep it there. But if guys start to, you know, make it so I can't do anything in there, then I'll back up an outside fight.
Now, a lot of people may not know, but you train with a lot of UFC vets, Mario Miranda, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Matt Brown's been through here, Tim Bosch. Being around the professionals and the level of professionalism here at AMC, how has that helped your game?
Confidence-wise, you know, I always get super nervous before my fights, but sparring with those guys inside the gym makes me, you know, you compete against those guys that are really, really good. You don't feel like, you know, like you are really up there with them. But when I get into my fights, you know, the guys who I fight are, you know, it seems that my fights are easy compared to what the gym is.
When you heard about the UFC acquiring, or Zuffa specifically acquiring Strikeforce, what were kind of the thoughts that went through your head? Because it's a big deal for a lot of the Strikeforce fighters, especially the ones on Challengers. Obviously, exposure goes up. The marketing machine of Zuffa is really behind Strikeforce. What kind of things went through your mind when you heard about it?
I was really nervous because I didn't know what their game plan was. I didn't know if they were going to just pick the fighters they want and get rid of everybody else and shut down the whole organization. But it's turned out to be just absolutely great. You know, they gave us medical insurance. They've taken us down to those fighter conferences now, and you know, they're on board and just promoting us just like they do the UFC fighters. So it's been great, and I'm really appreciative of that.
Now, outside of the cage, you do a lot of things. I mean, you're former military. Let's talk a little bit about your military background. Tell us how you went in and served your country.
After right out of high school, I went into the Marine Corps Reserves to pay for college. My plan was to do, my mom would sign because I was underage to go in as long as I did the reserves and got my college out first, and then I was going to go active duty and have a career in the military. So I went in, and then I got deployed over to the war in 2003. And you know, it's not that I don't like the military. I love it. It's a great thing. It changed my life. But it's just I found that wasn't for me, and I came home from that and just moved on to other things. I found myself here.
Now, one of the other things you've moved on to is really something very special. We've talked about it on the show. Tell us a little bit about your work with autistic children.
I've been around autistic kids my whole life. I was adopted into a home, and my mother, adopted mom, ran a foster home for autistic kids. So I've been around them my whole life. When I was 16, I started working with them as a paid job, and you know, it's very rewarding. And there's a lot of kids out there that need help, and it's so natural for me because I've been around it my whole life that it just kind of came like second nature when I needed a job, and now I'm doing it full time. So.
But you've told us that it's not really just a job for you. It's something that you really kind of embrace. Can you tell us how it's affected your life and your outlook on life?
Yeah, you know, it just, whatever situations in my life when I think that I'm, you know, having it rough or whatever, it just helps me to realize that, you know, I have no room to complain whatsoever. There's people out there with disabilities and disadvantages in their lives that they'll never be able to overcome. And it just makes me, you know, suck it up and move on. Everything's pretty good for me right now. It's really good, actually. And I should shut up and enjoy what I got and, you know, try to help out people that are disadvantaged because it's truly not fair for them. And they deserve everything that I got, and I try to help them out and help them as much as I can.
Now, what do they think about you fighting? It must be kind of interesting to them, the guy that comes and helps them and takes care of them to go out there and fight on TV. What are their thoughts about that?
I think only one of them actually has the ability to comprehend what it is, but I think he likes it. He might make him a little bit scared to see that, but the rest of them, you know, it has nothing to do with their lives whatsoever. We kind of just do other things that are focused on them and, you know, what they like to do.
Well, Caros, man, we definitely wish you the best of luck. You want to shout out your Twitter address and Facebook and your sponsors and everything for this fight?
I'd like to thank universalembassies.com, Colbert Mortgage, and Toyota of Bellevue for sponsoring me for this fight. It's been absolutely great. I really want to thank them. And if you guys could please check me out at carosfodor.com. I got my Facebook link and my Twitter link on there. It's carosfodor.com. And thank you very much, sir, for having me.
Now, is there anything else you want to say to your fans or to your opponent coming up here Friday for Strikeforce?
You know, I'm in the best shape of my life, injury-free, and I'm ready to put it on him. So, Terry, man, I hope you bring your A game because it's going to be a good fight, and let's do it.